HTML5 and CSS3 tutorials for beginners, positioning elements, and we're going to explore position relative in this video session. First, let's just remove these CSS declarations from the embedded styles, and let's look at our main CSS. We've been working on this, but I removed the border to be 10 pixels before. Now I removed it to be just 1 pixel and it's solid. Let's refresh the page and let's view this page. And this is our page that we've been working on. Now let's imagine this scenario. In the first aside within the P, let's insert an image by using our image tag. HTML image tag. Now let's try and understand position relative first. Let's save changes. Let's see what happens. We know from this dot here, because that's the aside, the blue background, and the P paragraph element tag starts here, so from this L. So that means that image will now be placed somewhere here to begin with. While here, let me move the element itself. Now, actually, let me remove the width and height of the section. Let me save changes. Now let's see what happens when I do this. As you can see, the text goes below as the screen moves, because that's the normal flow according to the screen resolution, so to speak. Okay, but as you can see, that image is just staying there within the normal flow. That's very important to understand, because when we say image using CSS, let's style that image, and let's now do this. Let's say top, from top, let's say 50 pixels. Let's save changes. Let's refresh this page to see what happens to this image. From top, 50 pixels, right? But that didn't occur, it seems. Now let's also say from left, go another pixels, as in 50 pixels. From left, move 50 pixels. And it seems like it hasn't. But now we have position relative. Let's save changes. Now, let's do this though. Let's say 200 from top, 200 pixels from left. Okay, this is what's going on here. There is actually a space here for this element, which is our image element, right? So when you think of position relative, you have to ask, well, okay, why would I need to use this relative positioning? You would use it for various reasons, and it's there for you to understand that when you use position relative, it's relative to its normal position, as in normal flow, and it's still there. It still takes space here in the flow of the content. Let me show you. When I refresh, see, every other element is taking its normal flow within the document, and yet our image is still there and its position is still here. It's taking up space there as if it's there, but we've just taken it out to position it by using position relative. I don't know, I found it very confusing to understand position relative, because then I have to say, well, relative to what? To relative to its parent. In this example, it's aside, P element. Make sense? So now let's say position relative, let's say 50 pixels. Let's look at that to see what happens. Make sense? But it's always going to stay there, because as far as the browser is concerned, there is an image here and it's now being positioned relative to that location. That's the simplest way that I can share insight about position relative with you. And we'll explore different positioning in the coming video tutorials. And I'll talk with you in the next video session.